Hello, my name's Robin Lambert. I'm 19 years old and living with cerebral palsy, but you guys know me as the T-Rex and you're watching My T-Rex Life. Okay guys, today I want to talk to you about how to be confident. Now, growing up, I was a super confident kid. I could pretty much talk to anyone, young or old, or someone that I just met, or someone that I'd known for a long time. And I was a real performance kid. I was always doing singing and dancing and acting in front of crowds and family and friends and things like that. So, I certainly didn't lack confidence at all. And that was, I think partly due to the fact that I was maybe, just born with quite a lot of confidence. There's a lot of people in my family who are pretty confident. And also, my upbringing, I was never really talked and spoken to like a child. And I was encouraged to take risks. And, I was sort of pushed to exercise my talents in acting and things like that. So, I was a confident kid, but then, like a lot of people, during my teenage years when the hormones were coming through and all those kind of things, I became very analytical of everything, and I experienced a lot of anxiety and lost a lot of my confidence. This led to me being pretty isolated, to not really going out, to not wanting to meet new people or to really speak to people. And to not really having any new experiences and things like that, which obviously didn't really put me in a good place. So I worked really hard to tackle those anxieties and to overcome that and, become the person that I am today, which is significantly more confident. And today I'd like to share with you guys how I did that. So hopefully it helps you out and helps you maybe to gain a little bit more confidence. Now, I think the first thing that I want to say is a lot of people now believe that you should never experience anxiety, that you should never get nervous, and that confidence is natural, that you're either born with it or you just don't have it. And I think that's truly just wrong. Anxiety is a natural response that the body has in certain situations. We're supposed to have adrenaline, we're supposed to have anxiety because it's there to help us in certain situations that are new, or we might be in danger, or where we might have to fight for something or something like that. To say, that we should never experience anxiety is truly false. And also, as for confidence, while I had a lot of confidence as a kid, like I said, I lost that. And for me, it's definitely true that it was something that I really had to work for. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. Even the people that you think, are just, super confident and can do anything, they've probably had to work to get to that stage, or there's probably things that they are anxious about and they're working to overcome. So like I said, when I was a teenager, I had a lot of anxiety, and my anxiety was, I had social anxiety, but a lot of it was situational anxiety. And for me, the key thing to sort of overcoming that was learning what the root cause of that anxiety was and tackling that. So, for example, I used to have a ton of anxiety around eating out. When I would eat out, it would literally make me physically sick. I would sweat. I'd get a super fast heart rate, I'd feel ill, I'd shake, and I honestly thought there was something wrong with me. I went to the doctors and it was like, every time I eat, I have this crazy response and it makes me feel like poo, and I think there's something wrong with me, so I got a whole bunch of blood tests done, and they all came back pretty much normal. And I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening every time I eat? And I totally didn't recognize that it was only really when I was eating out. It wasn't when I was eating at home, in the safety of my own home. And then my mom said to me, well, when you were younger, your digestive system didn't work very well, so certain foods would cause you to get sick and you would vomit quite a lot as a kid. You think maybe that because of your hormones and all those kind of things, that fear and that anxiety surrounding that experience is sort of coming back, and that's what's causing you to feel this way. And at first, I was like, Mom, what do you know? No, there's something wrong with me, like I'm sick. But then, lo and behold, that is what the cause of my anxiety was. Those negative experiences I'd had as a kid because of my disability surrounding that kind of situation had sort of come back and resurfaced and was causing me to have all of this anxiety about eating out. So how did I tackle that? How did I overcome that? Which I certainly have, because now eating out is one of my favorite things to do in the most entire world. Our weekends are surrounded by discovering the new eating places of Perth. So I've definitely overcome that. Well, basically, to overcome that, I put myself in situations that I knew were gonna make me nervous, that was gonna make me anxious. So I would go and eat out. I wouldn't do it with like friends or when I knew I didn't have very much time or whatever, but I'd do it in a time where I had plenty of time to process everything. So I'd go eat out with my mum or my family, and I'd start to feel nervous, and I'd just work through it. I just wouldn't cave into it, and I wouldn't try and escape the situation like I had done in the past. And through that, I created positive experiences around the eating out, and then I had something that I could reflect back on the next time I was going to eat out with friends or something like that. You could say, you know what? I was really anxious about it last time. I was really not feeling great about it, but nothing bad happened. And in the end, I actually had a pretty good time. So chances are that all of these things that I'm thinking in my head that are gonna, be so negative and terrible aren't actually gonna happen. And I'm probably gonna have a really good time if I just don't stress myself out over it. And also, feeling anxiety and taking risks that weren't necessarily associated with that situation. Doing things like, taking every opportunity to do public speaking, which is something that, a lot of people get nervous about, and I certainly do. Or, just doing other things that would make me feel a little bit nervous so that I could experience that anxiety, that I could recognize it, and that I could learn to deal with it and learn to work through it. And learn to know what it feels like, and to just think, okay, I'm just anxious, that's all it is. I just need to think about what could go right and stop focusing on what could go wrong, and just try and enjoy myself in this situation. And that really, really helped me. And I think, it's always good to take risks. We now know that kids that take a lot of risks when they're younger grow up to be more confident and grow up to be more creative and proactive and all that kind of stuff. So the science is there that, taking risks and experiencing anxiety is good for you. And it definitely helped me. So that was sort of the first thing, was addressing those anxieties. And then I guess sort of came building confidence. So how did I do that? For me, it was sort of going back to my roots and going back to that performance aspect of my life. And it was sort of turning everything into a performance. It was really faking it until I made it. And I know that's really cliche, but for me, I found it a lot easier to sort of act confident and make myself appear confident before I actually felt it. And I think through, again, putting myself in situations that I had to, be out there and sort of express myself and act confident in order to be successful in a certain situation, it really helped me to grow into that person. Dressing how I wanted to dress and say, being a little bit more unique in my style so that it would get people to notice me. And especially as a disabled person, that really helps me because, as you know, if you're disabled, you get a lot of stares and you get a lot of attention, but for your disability, which is something that you really can't control, and, that doesn't make you feel particularly great. But for me, I was giving people another reason to notice me. And I was putting myself out there and I was drawing attention to myself so that, I could sort of perform that confidence. And I could sort of, develop that no F's given kind of attitude, like as long as I wasn't hurting anyone, then, people either like me for who I am or they don't, and that's okay. So that really helped me develop my confidence. And like I said, I really just sort of acted confident a long time before I felt it. So a lot of people don't even know that I was experiencing such severe anxiety because I always sort of just try to keep cool, which I know is not possible for everyone, but I do think, if you can sort of put yourself out there a bit more and you can sort of push yourself into those situations, then it will help you develop that confidence. The next thing was finding confidence in my passions. And again, like I said, fashion was a big one for me. I was always interested in style and creating my own unique look. And really sort of just exercising that and pushing it to the boundaries is what helped me gain a lot of confidence. And I became known for my style, and also sport. Sport was a really big one for me. I became known as the, athletic, sporty person, which gave me a lot of confidence because I knew it was something that I was good at, and it was, getting me recognized. And also, the sporting environment really harbored my confidence, and it was really great for me because on one hand, you're surrounded by peers and people and teammates and people that are going to look out for you and try and help you through certain things. especially within disability sport. You know, I was able to learn how people dealt with their disabilities and how they achieved certain things, and you know, they were always sort of there to help me. But also, in contrast to that, the sporting environment is very competitive, so it also pushes you to be the most confident and capable person you can be on your own. And especially within individual sport, that's very true. And also, another aspect of it is that, especially a big part of individual sport is being able to put yourself out there to get noticed. That's a huge part of being successful as an athlete. It's networking, and it's also, you know, in a team sport, it's team communication is vital in most team games. So it's really a great environment to grow as a person and to develop that confidence. And the final thing for me was making new friends that encouraged me to take risks and lifted me up as a person. It was people that shared the same passions that I had, but that were going out there and really making something of themselves and experimenting with different things and putting themselves out there. And I think if you have those kind of friends, they really are going to lift you up and challenge you to do the same thing. And I'm not saying you have to go and ditch all your old friends because they're not doing anything for you or whatever. You know, you're friends with them for a reason. You know, they make you feel good and you have a lot in common. But I think it's also important to have those friends that do challenge you and that are, you know, a bit out there. And especially going to university for me, that was a big thing. You know, I met people that were arty and were making films or were, you know, dressing in their own unique way, and that just sort of forced me to be a little bit more creative, and through my creativity a little bit more confident. So for me, in one of my units, I had to make films, and I could do it on whatever I wanted. So I often turned it back on myself, and I would explore different parts of my identity through the things that I was creating for that unit. And then, you know, people really admired me for that, which made me feel great. But it was also a really great way to put myself out there and to look at the fears that I maybe had and things that maybe I wasn't so confident about, and put them out there and really just deal with them through that creative process. And I think that's the same thing with my vlogs. I don't like my friends seeing my vlogs or my family because it makes me super nervous, and it makes me just like, oh no, you know too much about me. But through being able to talk and network with a whole bunch of different people that are in a similar situation to myself, and putting myself out there as almost a public figure has really helped me develop my confidence, even if it is just talking to a camera, because I know I'm connecting with people and I know I'm trying to make a difference. So yeah guys, I hope this video has helped you. I know I rambled on a little bit, but I hope you got something out of it. Let me know how you developed your confidence in the comments section down below, and let me know what situations you've put yourself in to challenge yourself and all that kind of stuff. But most importantly guys, remember to stay shiny because I love yous.